Jazz, America's music. Jazz was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, because it was the largest port city in the United States, where people from different parts of the world lived close to each other. They combined their food, traditions, and music to make new ideas. They took African rhythms like claves, auxiliary percussion, Spanish music with guitars and block chords, French music like piano love songs with beautiful melodies and beautiful singing, and marching and brass bands from the Civil War with woodwinds, brass, and drums. They also used banjos and other string instruments from the rural South. Once this all got mixed together, the sound of the music got transported on the Mississippi River, up and down on riverboats. They used to have cruises where they had the bands play and the people would be entertained and they would be able to dance to it. The music got transported to the riverboat cities like Memphis, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Chicago. Once it got up to Chicago, it got developed even more. Then it got transported over to New York City, where a lot of money got added to asking people to play in nightclubs, dance clubs, and one being the Cotton Club. And while they had the dance clubs, they would actually broadcast the music on the radio. And so everybody started getting to listen to this music. Soon, because of the radio, people wanted to also have it in movies and what they were watching on the screen. So the music got transformed to Los Angeles, California. And they found it in all of the movies, and the big musicians were on the screen, and the bands, and the dancing, and the singing. And then television, when it got invented, you would see it nightly in shows on the television as well.
How is it structured? Jazz music has an introduction, the main song, then it goes into an improvised section where each performer of the group takes the main song and plays it as a solo. But they kind of change it around a little bit and add their own ideas. Maybe they might change the rhythm, or they might change the order of the notes. So it still has the same idea, and it still takes place in the same amount of time that the original main song does, but it is just changed right on the spot. And the cool thing about it is they never do the same way twice. When you improvise something, you just come up with it and then you forget about it. And you don't have to keep practicing that same thing over and over again. So the cool thing about this part of the jazz music is that every time you go and listen to somebody play this section of the music, it is never the same. All right, and then, so once each person gets a chance to take their own solo, then there's another thing that happens where the performers of the group sometimes trade small sections back and forth. So somebody might start out with part of the melody, and then the other person will take up the next few notes, and they trade back and forth the ideas. And so it's more improvising, but they kind of have a musical dialogue, which is kind of like the call and response from when we learned about from Africa. And then at the end, everybody goes back and plays together. They go and play the head of the piece or the main melody of the song. And then at the end, they put like an added ending or a coda. Instruments that you usually find in a small ensemble are piano, and some famous musicians that play piano are Art Tatum and Nina Simone. Guitar, you can check out Charlie Christian and Wes Montgomery. Drums, Art Blakey and Jack DeJohnette. Bass, you can check out Ron Carter and Nikki Perrott. Saxophone, check out Charlie Parker and John Coltrane. And trumpet, check out Louis Armstrong and Miles Davis.